Hello YouTube, this is AndrewTheRed. So new game has come out on Steam, which I think it's getting popular, is called Banished. I thought I would play around with it for a bit for a possible Let's Play. I know I haven't done a game in a while, but this may be a good candidate, so I'd like to know what you think. And I thought to do that I would just show you the game I've got going here. So Banished is a sim builder. It's kind of like Dwarf Fortress, but it's all above the ground, of course. And you give people jobs, and they run around and do things. There's all kinds of buildings you can build. There's all kinds of farming activities. So why don't we start with just the housing? So there's all your people here, male, female, different ages. They tend to copulate together, two of them, male and female, and then they produce children. They're able to produce children as long as they have a house to themselves. So if they're living with their parents still, like these two females are living with their parents still, they will not copulate with anybody. They require a house with a male, and then they will. You also get the odd spinster effect going on, where you've got really old people that are in a house on their own, and no one moves in with them. Because I'm not sure how the game mechanics work. You only have someone move in with you if you're going to be a couple and make children. If you get to too old, it seems to be about 55 or so, or 50, then you don't make any more children. And if you lose your spouse, then you sit in your house until you die, which is around 80 or 85 or so, and they eventually will die. There's a 64 there. So he'll be she's sitting in a house herself as well, and same with her. But anyways, so if there is an open house, when they get to about well, I've seen actually 15. If they're not in school, they will move out to a house by about 15. If there's an open house. But if you have a school, they will go to school from about age, I think, 10 until 18. And then they will move out. And when they move out, if they've been to school, they are considered educated, and then they're more productive. So they will, whatever their job is, they will do it better, which is a good thing. So getting a school later, I would say midway through is good. You don't want it right away, because you really need the laborers at the beginning. So maybe I should do the jobs now. So here's the jobs. Laborers do grunt work. They move stuff. They also will chop down trees and stone and iron in this game. Here's, well, there's tons of trees, right? Stone, iron is the darker blocks there. They will do all of that, and you have to assign them to do that. So what you do is you go into here and you go harvest trees, cut these down, and then they'll cut them down, those laborers. Stone, the same thing. You go find some stone, go get that stone, and they'll do that. Same with the iron. Go get the iron, and they'll do that. That's the laborer's job. Builders will build buildings that are ready to be built. So let's see, right down here I've got a building being built. So it has all the requirements. This is a house. It's got the logs, it's got the stone, it's got the iron. So then the builders will come and they will build it. And here's the building thing. So they have to be here and use their hammer on it this many times. Up here also you can assign how many people you want to build on. So I've got 4 builders assigned, but I don't want all 4 in the same house, so I've got this house set to 2 builders maximum. So only 2 builders will be assigned here. The other 2 builders will go and do something else. Although I don't know what that would be right now. Oh, I've got this thing building. I've got I've got a tavern house, a tavern building right here. It doesn't have enough stuff, as you can see. It still needs some wood, still needs some stone, still needs iron. Here's my storage area. It's got stone and iron in it. No wood right now. Actually, I guess I could fix that. I'll just assign some foresters. I guess I should be going down the list here, not necessarily playing. So builders do that. Farmers, of course, are on the field. They can both do crops and they can do trees, so you can harvest like an orchard kind of. Got an apple orchard going here. I've got beans growing here. I've got corn growing here, but of course not in the wintertime. Herdsmen are here. You build them, you build the big fences, you get the cows in by trading, or sometimes you can start with animals, cows, chickens, and there's sheep later. I don't have sheep yet. There's gatherers. Gatherers are little huts that you have to build. There's a gathering hut here. They want to put them out in the middle of nowhere in a big forest area, and they will walk around and pick up berries. They will pick up onions and random stuff like that, and then they'll deliver them to your storage house, which is this barn right here. You will also start with a storage cart, but you'll want to later delete it. But anyways, the storage bins, the storage barns are where most of the stuff goes. Fisherman, or of course over here is a fishing hut. They just sit on the dock and fish. That's pretty much it. Hunters need a hunting lodge. Again, you want to put them in the middle of nowhere because they're out looking for deer. So they wander around, and if a deer gets in this vicinity, they'll go in and kill it. What's next? Woodcutter. Woodcutter is actually this guy. He splits wood into firewood, and in the winter time, and a little bit in the spring and the fall, houses need firewood to keep warm. And if you don't get firewood, eventually your people freeze to death, so it's not good. So this guy just splits wood. So he'll take logs, he'll bring it in here, he'll cut it into firewood, and then take it back to the storage barn. Foresters have a building. There are these towers. They will both plant trees around it, so it's also got a yellow, see this yellow circle here? It will plant trees around it, and it will cut trees around it. So it's a good way of doing sustainable lumber harvesting. Otherwise you're clear cutting, because if I do this, if I manually tell people to cut wood down, like I say, cut all this down here, they will clear cut, and they will cut down even saplings. So later on, you'll want to keep forested areas and use one of these guys, because they will both cut and plant. So they will keep it all nice in here. And of course, trees will grow on their own, but if you're planting them with a forest lodge, they grow faster. Herbalist is a building right here. Herbalist walks around and picks up herbs. They are, I think these, let me see, there are mushrooms there. I think herbs are these green bushes. There's green bushes somewhere. I don't think they're those things. I think those might be onions. There's green bushes that they use for herbs, and herbs are for minor healing. I believe it's about under 3 hearts. Your people have health. I guess I could show you that. Your people have health. People will take damage from starving randomly and from freezing randomly. So at the beginning of the game that will happen. Your people will slowly take damage if you're having trouble with food or firewood. And if they get under 3 hearts, they will use the herbologist, and they will get some health. But above that, it doesn't have an effect, or at least in my experience. Herbologists, also the herbs, there's some there. They actually sell very well at the trading house, so it's not a bad idea to stockpile them. So I've got a herbologist there, I've got a herbologist up here. Okay, blacksmith. Blacksmith makes tools. All your people have tools. If their tools break, they can still do all their normal jobs. It just is very slow. So eventually, you'll start to see little hammers above people. That means their tools are broken, and they're not productive. So you have a blacksmith here can make iron tools with logs and iron, which of course you want to do at the beginning. And later on, you'll want to switch to steel tools, which are better, makes them more productive. Brewer, I'm just building right now. There it is there. It makes ale out of fruit and wheat. And ale sells well as it boosts happiness of your population. Tailor, when you kill deer or you kill cows, they will give you leather. You can use the leather to make clothes with the tailor. Clothing is important because in the winter time, if you want your people out doing stuff, they need clothes, otherwise they'll take damage from having crappy clothes. Like there's clothing fair, clothing excellent. If it says ragged clothing, then your people will take damage being out in the winter time. So you want to get them new clothes, and do that with the tailor. Tailor's right here. I don't know if I showed you the blacksmith. There's a blacksmith. Tailor's right here. So he makes both hide, which is the beginning stuff. Wool coats come from sheep, sheep wool. That's an animal, which I don't have yet. And then you can combine them for an even better coat. And the worm coats, of course, sell very well too. Vendor is for the market. So the market actually combines food, tools, and firewood, and some other, I'm not sure why iron and logs and leather are in here. There's the coats as well. you can assign people as the vendor, and they will distribute the stuff to the housing. It's very good because in the beginning of the game, it's an odd, like, this is essentially a communist game, right? And there's no, people aren't paid for anything. Everyone just is supposed to share everything, right? And what happens is people hoard stuff. So it's going to basically happen to you when you play this game. Early on, you're going to have a low food intake, but also you have a low population. The problem is that people will just stockpile stuff and let other people starve to death. So it's going to happen to you, and I basically, every time I played this game, and I've played this game probably 4 times now, 4 different towns, people will stockpile food and let other people starve to death. But when you get the market, it doesn't happen anymore. So you want to get it as fast as you can, but it's very difficult. And let me just show you this. There's little indications come up down here. It said my storage thing is full, so I've got a ton of stuff in here. Alright, my in's full. Or let me assign oh, brewer, there it is right there. Assign a brewer. Oh, let's see. What do I have? Let's do this right now. Apples? I guess I could do apples. Apples, sure. So I'll do apples. That should be fine. You can get apples, hopefully. Well, I guess we'll find out. There's apples in there. There's 200 apples in there. So. Okay, where was I? Trader. So eventually you'll want to get a trader. It sits off the water here. People, just kind of like in Dwarf Fortress, people will randomly come by and they'll trade stuff with you. For example, seeds are very important. You cannot grow anything at the beginning. Well, depending on your difficulty. I actually play on hard. I played on easy and medium, and I lost. My people starved to death. I started with too many people to sustain them with food. Play on hard, you only start with 4 families, which is perfect. So you don't start with any seeds, though. So I have to buy the seeds. I bought the corn seeds, I bought the bean seeds, I bought the apple seeds. So boats will randomly come by. Just like in Dwarf Fortress, each boat is a type. So you've got the seed boat, you've got the resource boat, which is, he's got like wool and iron and stuff on him. You get the food boat, and you get the animal boat. So an animal boat came, I don't know, I was pretty far in, I guess. Finally got cows, and then another boat came and gave me chickens. They take a while, they're not every year. I would say they're probably every 3 years, the boats come. So, and the boats don't always trade and everything. Another great thing about the trading posts is they can store a lot of stuff. So all your extras, put in this trading post. Herbs are in here. Herbs are worth $4 each. They're fantastic. Beef is worth $3. Venison is worth $3. That's deer meat, by the way. All the gathering stuff like roots and onions, and they're just 1. Mushroom, they're worth 1 only, so they're not that great. There's fish is good. Fish is only worth 1 though, but it's easy to get. There's hide coats, there's tools, you can produce a lot of, they're worth 8. Hide coats I think are worth 15. Ale is, I don't know, it's probably worth more. But I'm not sure if this is true though, but the more people you put in your working in your trading post, I believe the more stuff that ships come, the more stuff they'll have to sell to you, but I'm not sure if that's true. Miner, so you build a mining thing. Mines are up against a mountain, and they will produce iron and coal. And once they're depleted, they're useless and they sit there. You can't get rid of them. So, same with the stone cutter. I actually don't have a quarry, but that's what that is, stone cutter. You build a quarry, like let's say right here. I guess I could show you that. Build a big quarry right here. Same thing. You can come in here and get all the stone you want, but it will deplete and then it sits there. It's a blight on your earth. I don't know if in the future they will change that, but that's how it is right now. Okay, and a few more left. So the teacher I already kind of talked about, but that's right here, the schoolhouse. So when a child grows up to age 10, they will come to school if they can, if there is a spot available for them, and there's a teacher employed. If any of those are not the case, they will become laborers and they will not be educated, which is a little check mark on their profile there, and that makes them more productive if they're educated. So if they don't get into a school when they're 10, they will not be able to be educated, and so you won't get that. But if there is a teacher working and there is a room in a schoolhouse, and they will come here for 8 years until they're 18, and then if they persisted through that, then they will be educated when they come out as 18, and they will be more productive. Now, in that time, the student can still occupy a house with a male and produce a family. So there's a brewer right there. She's 18, so she's out of school. But there's a student. She's not out of school yet. There's a child that's 8. She hasn't gone to school yet. One interesting thing also is that children, even at age 0, will walk around and they will pick stuff up and move stuff. So they will do labor for you. They will haul stone, they will haul food, and even at age 0, just interesting. Another very strange thing is that you can have people moving into a house to start a family, like age 12. You can have like a 20-year-old male and an 8-year-old female, and they can, or no, I don't think it's 8, maybe, I think it's maybe 12, something like that. They can start a family, so that's a little odd, but I think the age of consent's a little low in this game, but oh well. Okay, that's teacher. Physician. Physician will cure diseases. There's a physician house right here. Diseases come from travelers and from migrants. Migrants only will come if you have the migrant building, which is the boarding house, this thing here. And it gives you random population if you want it. Just random travelers will show up, and they will have random ages and random education levels. But they also will bring disease, and if you don't have the hospital, your people will just die of a disease. So you want to have one, but in later on in the game, not a big deal. The cleric is for the church. Just like the schoolhouse, the church serves, well, everyone in this case, and it just increases happiness.